All right, music fans, welcome back. It's Dave, the Real Music Observer, observing real music in real time for real people, just like you right there, just like me right here. So, life is kind of short. It's too short, and there is that saying that you don't sweat the small stuff and all this. But I remember last year when I got blocked by Neal Schon on Twitter for asking questions, and I know now why he did what he did, and I completely support his right to block anybody for any reason on any social media platform. I know this isn't going to be a fun video to watch, and I know for some of you, you're always saying, Dave, don't worry about these people, just let it go, this and that. But when people come at me with false facts, their own facts, an alternative set of facts, if you will, which aren't facts at all, and they didn't work in radio, they're not a musician, they have no idea about demographics, they have no idea about the cosmic, seismic shift that happened in the 1990s musically, and how we've really never recovered from that shift. Yes, maybe you adapted your tastes to that music. Good for you. I didn't, okay? And I think it's just disingenuous to think that Eric Clapton, for instance, okay, is as good as some crap that came along in the 90s and displaced him, okay? Because that's what happened, because I was there. I saw the charts. I used to monitor all that stuff. And slowly but surely, all these legacy artists, by the way, not just the 80s glam rock and the bands like Poison and Rat and so forth. Yeah, those guys obviously took a hit, but the stuff that was around for years, I mean, the Rolling Stones, were having trouble getting on the radio with their new music because, hey, you guys had Pearl Jam now. You had Soundgarden. You didn't need any of these classic rock sounding groups because, they just weren't cool. They weren't, the in thing, even though musically speaking, it was fine wine against, stale beer at the very best, okay? And you know what? I'm not going to argue with somebody over on Facebook. I'm really thinking at this point that my social media footprint is big enough and maybe too big. Maybe postings will all be happy smiley faces because it doesn't make sense to do this all day long. And that's why last year Neal Schon was blocking people left and right. And, at the time I didn't see it. I thought he was just, but he's got other things to do. He's got better things to do than argue with somebody who he'll never meet in his life, who basically is just trying to get attention. All right, and I've told people you could start a YouTube channel. All right, if you want to be the grunge channel and how great grunge was and the virtues of grunge, start a grunge channel. If you want to start a channel where all music is great, I don't dislike anything, and I'm countering Dave who has a negative opinion about such and such. Okay, if you love Lawrence Gowan, you want to start the Lawrence Gowan channel. All right. And by the way, I'll say this about Styx and Lawrence Gowan. Styx with Lawrence Gowan, okay, is better than any grunge music. All right. So there you go. Okay, that's perspective for me, and I can say that. And as soon as I make a definitive statement like that, people come out. How can you say that? Because that's what I do. That's what this channel is about. It's not, contrary to popular belief, this isn't the Snowflake channel, because the Snowflake channel would have people just agreeing and you're agreeing with everything's good and everything's great and you have no opinions about what's good and what's bad. I do, okay? I do. I have opinions, and apparently people are so disagreeable about just, and by the way, again, like I said last year when I was having a bit of a feud with Neal at the time, I said, this is a rock band. This is music. This is not politics. This is not, a major earth-shattering issue. And I don't use that as an out. I'm just saying if you're that wound up about something that you disagree with me about, I think, there are other outlets for you, rather than coming after me and then I got to wake up in the morning and read these crazy comments and think to myself, okay, why am I doing this now? Why? Well, originally I was doing it because I like to do it. When it gets to the point where I don't like to do it, who knows what I'm going to do? I mean, it's just YouTube, folks. You know, I could get a real job. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing it. I've done it my whole life. This works out for me because I have a special needs kid and, you know, I'm at home and so forth, and it makes sense. But if it doesn't make sense at a certain point, it's no big deal. You know, I've done what I can do to kind of try to resurrect the interest in real music, melodic rock, people who know how to sing and play their instruments. And by the way, you know, when I say melodic rock, I mean songs that you can sing and you can hear the lyrics and you can understand, and it's not doom and dark and filled with angst and terror and negativity, because that's just not what I listen to, and I don't think that's good music. But hey, if that's what you like, and you think that's equal to the Beatles or whatever you want to, you know, because look, when you have the Beatles and the Stones and you grow up on what I call real music, it's really tough. I mean, you can try to compare stuff. The critics try to do it all the time, and I just laugh because there's just no comparison. I mean, Led Zeppelin, you know, when I went back to my old radio station and I heard the format where they had a couple of classic songs next to these songs, which sounded like they were from another planet. Okay, they didn't even sound like music in some cases. All drum programmed, heavy compression. The guy's voice is dark. It's deep. It almost sounds just like I just like Freddy Krueger is singing. You know, I don't know how to describe it. You can put any kind of label on it you want, but it's like, again, the fine wine against the stale beer, and I'm not into the stale beer, okay? So that's my video. I will be rambling on and on if I keep going, but Neal Schon was right last year. He was right. And he was right about a lot of things, but he was right to just eliminate the people who made him stressed out. And that's going to be my strategy moving forward.